Hi friends, this is Andy Vegan. I make a breakfast today and I love fruit for breakfast, especially when I have fasted before my weekly juice fasting day. I only have juices and the next day I start mostly with fruit. The lightest food to eat again is fruit, and there's a very nice fruit. Also, I would say the highest value of food is in fruit. If you look at the prices, what is needed to produce fruit, they are super high. I was surprised when I looked at the numbers. I saw fruit is so highly expensive because of the much water that you put into the fruit to grow them, and much more. Water, they are very high in water use, so that makes them very expensive as compared to vegetables usually and others. Yeah. But of course, we all like fruit. There's a lot of sugar, and fruit is, so to say, pure energy. Yeah? You have so much sugar in the fruit, and it is healthy sugar. When it is together with the whole fruit, I have here some wonderful pears and some grapes. Yeah? About the same amount, and it is grapes are just out of season. Yeah, they just have been there. Sometimes they still find them wonderful, and the pear are still there, I would say. We go towards winter, and now it's time, I would say, still for grapes and pears. That is not to say that I only eat fruit that are in season. Of course not. Yeah, that is not. You cannot do that really. Living in the city or so, we always have access to other fruits, and by choosing a plant-based diet, a vegan diet, yeah, we already contribute the most to reducing the climate change of what we can personally do. Plant-based diet is the biggest single step each of us can do. So of course it is good to eat local and all these things, but if you focus all together, the whole community of humans on planet Earth, on one goal, and that is needed to make real progress. Yeah, to be focused on one goal that everybody can agree on, then I guess it's the vegan diet, because then the change is possible. But if we all vote for different options, yeah, then it is hard to get the politicians to act. We have to have a simple and clear message, and is the plant-based or the vegan diet, of course, for the animals. Then it's vegan. Plant-based is not only for the animals, that is for other options. But that is another question. Yeah. The vegan includes the ethical, the philosophical, from the heart. Yeah, this aspect, and that is often not debated because people don't agree on that. But that is also a wrong thinking. Of course we can agree on ethical standards, and because we all subscribe to the same values, and even science already knows that humans are so successful as a species. Not talking about all the mistakes we made, we made, because we have compassion. That is the more important than intelligence, because compassion allows us to work together, yeah, to communicate with other, work together on the same purpose, and then intelligence comes into effect. Yeah? If many people work together, then big intelligence is in action. Yeah? But one single person cannot be as intelligent and as billions of people together. That will never work. I mean, at least I don't believe that. With exceptions, yeah, but maybe a super guru or so would be possible, but regular people cannot be as intelligent as many together. And that's why our big successes are made possible by working together. So now I'm back to the vegan diet and how to make it easy for everybody to be vegan. That begins for me with raw food, because that is the easiest way to cook it all. And if I want to learn something new, to want to make my own recipes, I just begin with very simple recipes. The easiest way is the best to start, where everybody can join and learn step by step. combining fruit is of course so much fun because it's super healthy, because the sugar, the high sugar in the fruit is combined with a healthy fiber, and the fiber is needed to make the intake of the nutrients better, yeah, to moderate the intake. If the food goes in, the nutrients go in too fast, for example, to for juices or just pure vitamins or so, then the body has a problem to absorb it all, and the system is disrupted. Yeah, so fiber makes it all smooth and work properly. So fiber is very important for a regular diet. Fasting with the juices is an exception. We shouldn't do it too much because then the whole system is reversed and we don't digest anymore. We take the nutrients in directly for cleansing purposes, for meditation, for being creative, all these things, for repair, you know, the repair of the body. But the regular diet, the usual diet, should be high in fiber, rich in fiber, and fruit is perfect for that. But we cannot afford fruit all the time. And we need to eat a huge amount of fruit if you only want to eat fruit. There are some people who really love to be only fruitarians. Be it as is, yeah, they can do that if they like, but it is very hard to get all the nutrients only with fruit. So some begin to add tender leafy greens. Yeah, the greens are very important, and they add to the fruits. And then they say that's the perfect diet because, and there are many reasons for that. But I don't agree really. I think that is maybe an idea of the ideal food, but it is not something all humans could ever participate in, because fruit is the most expensive of all, for one argument, and fruit is not the best food for everyone. Yeah, I think we have all different bodies, different systems, different habits, so we have to be practical. And I add other ingredients with fruit. Yeah, I add, for example, I like to add nuts. Yeah, and nuts. Here I have a dressing for this wonderful fruit salad that is made of bananas and macadamia nuts. This is the base. I have 3 or 4 bananas here, yeah, and a handful of macadamia nuts. And in general, blending bananas with nuts and seeds makes it really nice and creamy. A very silken creaminess. The wonderful creams we have if you do that. If you combine the little bit more fat from the nuts with this super creamy, rich in fiber bananas, then you blend it and have this wonderful cream. I'll show you in a moment. Yeah, of course I need only a small amount of nuts here because this is a little bit more fat here then. It makes it more keeping the breakfast, yeah, keeps a longer time. And the fat also in the nuts gives me a warm feeling. Yeah, fruit on their own is only cooling more, and adding nuts to this makes it more warming. The fat warms me. So there are 2 reasons that I add the fat here: the silken texture, then the creaminess, yeah, that is the silken texture, and then a higher fat content that makes it keeping and it warms me. Blender dance. A relatively short blend because I have a third ingredient to add that I would only add now after having lined my blender with this white mantle in the inside, because when I add now the third ingredient, it's a cacao butter. It says it's molten on a water bath. You see, cacao butter. It's not much, it's maybe 30-40 grams or so, not too much, just a little bit, to give this wonderful extra flavor. Cacao butter has a wonderful flavor. It's really super warming and intense. Of course it's fat, yeah, but cacao butter is more than fat. It's a wonderful aroma, flavors, and flavors, by the way, and textures are all nutrients. So when you talk about food combining, which nutrients go with which nutrients, yeah, which is the best combination? We learned a lot from ancient time, from former times, when people thought about fat only, vitamins and minerals, and fiber and so. all kinds of nutrients. But recent times we learn much more about nutrients. We have learned that thousands of more nutrients we didn't talk about before are the phytonutrients. That is, a special nutrients that are only in plants. Nutrient that is made by plants. Phyto, plant. That's a Greek word. Phytonutrients. The nutrients that are made by plants. There are thousands in each plant. And texture and flavor and color and aroma, these all are phytonutrients. They are chemicals in the plants, made by the plants, with several health benefits, possibly also, they are different, for us humans. So if we eat plants, we have this wonderful array of phytonutrients that work together, that play together, and we can explore them by trying it. So food combining is not only about fat, protein, and sugar. No. It is also, or vitamins and minerals, it's also about the phytonutrients. That is a more complex question. Thousands and hundred thousands of phytonutrients have already been found, detected, explored, found, and we have no idea how they work together. And there, all the questions come up again. Is that really bad to combine this and that food, as we learned before? Yeah. No, oftentimes it is a very personal thing, because the phytonutrients, they answer the questions in a different way. So I add now this cacao butter to this silk and creamy banana macadamia cream and see what happens. And now what happens is very simple. I made a chocolate cream. This is a chocolate cream. And if I put a little bit more nuts, less bananas, and more cacao butter, this chocolate would firm up in the fridge and make my own chocolate. It's very easy to make your own chocolate. Of course, you have the purest ingredients, and you have the cacao butter, and the banana, and the pure fruit, the raw food. Wonderful. Oh, delicious. Natural sugar in there, the banana. The best chocolate ever, and it's so easy. And when I have this white chocolate here, white chocolate cream, I pour it over my pears and grapes. To me, that is a really perfect combination. Not only because the pear and chocolate is a classical perfect combination for many, many reasons. It's super delicious. Also with the grapes. The grapes are also very nice together with the pears. When I wondered today what to eat to start eating again, so a very pure body, very sensitive from the fasting, or one day only, then this question comes up, what to eat? And pears and grapes, that made a click in my mind. I said, oh, I have these wonderful grapes, I have some pears, that would be the perfect, both are very tender fruit, grapes are tender, and pears are very tender too, and both have amazing health benefits. They are sweet, and they have a different sweetness and sourness, both. Pears can be fascinating, and the health benefits of pears, as opposed to apples, both are standard fruit here, very common. Both are in the same season, both are similar, they're very similar fruit, but the nutrient content is also very similar of pears and apples. Still, they are very different. And the pears actually are best, that is their advantage from apples, they are best for releasing the kidneys, for making toxins go away from the body, wash it out. Pears are wonderful for that. There are even sayings in wisdom of the people, not scientifically, it always says that pears do that as opposed to apples. Apples are for a different purpose, but now we have science about it. We know there are chemicals in the pear that do this effect, and that, of course, phytonutrients. And grapes are similar, also very tender, very purifying. They also help the body to release toxins. They wash it out, and they are also good for the eyesight. Grapes have many, many health benefits: anti-inflammatory, helping digestions, and even strengthening the eyes, the macula. So grapes are wonderful, and together I think they are a perfect combination. And I will enjoy now this wonderful breakfast with lots of fruit and a little bit of nuts and cacao butter. That's Is it a nut? I don't know. It's a cacao bean. It's a kind of nut maybe, but it's also high in fat and it has protein too. And there are many health benefits in the cacao bean. But maybe that is something we shouldn't eat too often. Yeah, cacao is good, it's healthy, and as far as science can see, and it is in moderation. Yeah, fruit you can eat as many as you want. You can never go wrong. There is scientific evidence for that. You cannot eat too much fruit. But chocolate is in small quantities very good. Of course, it's not a difficult to imagine that it might be true because it's so high in fat, and everything that's high in fat, you should moderate your intake. Exception of nuts, another story. Because nuts also, if you have pure nuts, without being roasted or seasoned or without fat or so, just the pure raw nuts, you can eat literally as many helpings as you want without getting fat. You will have no weight gain, rather even weight loss. Fascinating studies show that there are phytonutrients in the nuts that help the body not to take on fat. It's amazing. They tried to put it on the tests for a long time with many people, and I found it. It's amazing. Yeah, if you have a question about the sources or so, you can always ask, of course, on the Facebook or my YouTube comments. Yeah, I'm always happy to answer good questions or to take your advice or suggestions or whatever. I'm very likely to answer them as fast as I can. And if I can help, always. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. I hope you can take something away from my comments here together with this new recipe. Make a new recipe every single day. And if you subscribe my YouTube channel, MD Vegan, you have another recipe every single day. If you like this video, thumbs up. And maybe find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.